Nick Lidstrom is a 4-time Stanley Cup champion, a 7-time Norris Trophy winner, played over 1,500 NHL games, and is considered by some the greatest defenseman to ever play the game. He may also be considered one of the greatest draft steals ever, being taken 53rd overall in 1989. Yes, that's right, 53rd overall. So, who were the 52 players drafted before him? And how could so many teams pass on the chance to draft a future Hockey Hall of Famer? In today's video, we'll be going over the 52 players drafted before Lidstrom to see how their careers have panned out. Let's dive in. Drafted first overall by the Quebec Nordiques in 1989 was Mats Sundin, becoming the first European-born player ever drafted first overall. He spent the majority of his career as a Toronto Maple Leaf, becoming their captain in 1997 and finishing as the franchise's all-time leader in goals with 420 and points with 987. Sundin recorded 1,349 points over 1,346 NHL games, including 564 goals. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2012 and is considered one of Sweden's greatest NHL players. Dave Chazowski was drafted second overall by the New York Islanders in 1989 after a 104-point WHL season with Kamloops. However, he never became an NHL star, playing 126 games and recording only 31 points, 15 goals, and 16 assists. After a few games played in Chicago, he played in Europe before retiring. Scott Thornton, a physical power forward, was drafted third overall by the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1989. He later played for the Oilers, Canadiens, Stars, Sharks, and Kings. Though not a high scorer, Thornton excelled in grit and defense with a career-high 26 goals in 2001-02. He played 941 NHL games, scoring 144 goals and 285 points, all while racking up 1,459 penalty minutes. Stu Barnes, drafted fourth overall by the Winnipeg Jets in 1989, had a standout junior career with the Tri-City Americans leading up to the draft. Barnes played a key role in Florida's 1996 Stanley Cup final run and Buffalo's 1999 Cup final appearance. He recorded 261 goals and 597 points in 1,136 games. After retiring, he transitioned into coaching and front office roles with Dallas and Tri-City. Bill Guerin was known for his scoring, physicality, and leadership. Drafted fifth overall by the New Jersey Devils in 1989, he helped them win the 1995 Stanley Cup. Guerin also had a career-best 40 goals in 2001 with the Oilers and won another cup with the Penguins in 2009. Over 1,263 games, he recorded 429 goals and 856 points. After retiring, he became GM of the Minnesota Wild in 2019 and looks to continue his history of hockey success. Adam Bennett was a Canadian defenseman drafted 6th overall by the Chicago Blackhawks in the 1989 NHL Draft after a strong junior career with the Sudbury Wolves. However, he played 69 NHL games between 1991 and 1994, recording 3 goals and 11 points. Doug Smolak was drafted 7th overall by the Minnesota North Stars in 1989. He played 10 NHL seasons for the North Stars, Sharks, Dallas Stars, LA Kings, and Blackhawks. Smolak played 442 NHL games, recording 11 goals, 53 assists, and 905 penalty minutes. Picks 8 and 9 didn't amount to much. The Canucks drafted Jason Herter at number 8, who only played 1 game in the NHL, and the Blues took Jason Marshall at number 9, who did end up playing 526 NHL games, putting up a modest 67 points in that time. Bobby Holik, a Czech-born center, was taken 10th overall by the Devils, who won 2 Stanley Cups with New Jersey in 1995 and 2000. Holik recorded a career-high 65 points in 1997-98 and also played for the Rangers and Thrashers before returning to New Jersey for his final season. Holik played 1,314 games, scoring 326 goals and 747 points. Mike Sillinger, drafted 11th overall by the Detroit Red Wings in 1989, debuted in the NHL in 1990, but was traded to the Mighty Ducks in 1995, beginning a career marked by frequent moves. Known for his face-off skills and versatility, he played in 1,049 NHL games, scored 240 goals and 548 points. Now, the first round of the 1989 draft starts to fall from here, however. The last 10 players of the first round only played 2,393 games combined. That's an average of 239 games per player for their career, not what you'd want from a first-round selection. At pick number 12, the Leafs drafted Rob Pearson. At pick number 13, Montreal drafted Lindsay Vallis. At pick number 14, the Sabres drafted Kevin Haller. With the 15th pick, the Oilers took on Souls. At number 16, the Penguins selected Jamie Heward. The number 17 pick was Shane Stevenson to the Bruins. At pick number 18 was Jason Miller to New Jersey. Olaf Kolzig, aka Oli the Goalie, was drafted 19th overall in 1989. He became the Capitals' starting goalie in 1996. Kolzig led the team to the 1998 Stanley Cup Final and won the Vezina Trophy in 2000 with a career-high 41 wins. Over 719 games, he recorded 303 wins, a 2.71 goals against average, and 35 shutouts. After retiring in 2009, Kolzig focused on coaching and youth development, later being inducted into the Capitals Hall of Fame in 2015. With the 20th pick, the Rangers drafted Stephen Rice, and the last pick of the first round was Steve Bancroft to the Maple Leafs. The second round started with a bang. Adam Foote, a rugged defenseman, was drafted 22nd overall by the Quebec Nordiques in 1989 and went on to become a key player for the Colorado Avalanche, winning Stanley Cups in 1996 and 2001. Foote retired with 1,154 games, 308 points, and 1,534 penalty minutes. He won Olympic gold in 2002 and later worked in player development and coaching. Travis Green, drafted 23rd overall by the New York Islanders in 1989, helped the team reach the 1993 Wales Conference Final. Green's best offensive season came in 1995-96 with 70 points. He played for the Mighty Ducks, Coyotes, Maple Leafs, and Bruins, totaling 970 games with 193 goals and 455 points. After retiring, he coached the Portland Winterhawks and served as head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, and now coaches the Ottawa Senators. After Travis Green, much like the first round, the success falls off significantly, with the exception of one player who carved out a solid career in Montreal. Let's have a quick glance at the second round. Manderville, 24th to Calgary. Dan Ratushny, 25th to the Jets. Jared Skald, 26th to the Devils. Mike Spear, 27th to Chicago. Mike Craig, 28th to Minnesota. Rob Woodward, 29th to Vancouver. Patrice Brisebois, known for his skating, puck movement, and offensive contributions, was an integral part of the Canadiens' defense. Drafted 26th overall in 1989, Brisebois debuted in 1990-91 and later won a Stanley Cup with the Habs in 1993. He played 1,009 games, recording 98 goals, 322 assists, and 420 points. After retiring in 2010, he became involved in hockey development in Quebec. Rick Corriveau, 31st to the Blues. Bob Bugner, 32nd to the Red Wings. Greg Johnson, 33rd to the Flyers. Patrick Julin, 34th to the Flyers. Byron Defoe, 35th to the Capitals. Richard Borgo, 36th to Edmonton. Paul Laus, 37th to the Penguins. Mike Parson, 38th to the Bruins. Brent Thompson, 39th to the Kings, Jason Prosovsky, 40th to the Rangers, Steve LaRouche, 41st to Montreal, and rounding out the second round, Ted Drury, 42nd to the Flames. The third round of the draft was the Nick Lidstrom show. Only 7 other players played over 100 NHL games, and 5 of them played 0. Of those 7 players, 4 of them were drafted before Nick Lidstrom. Let's take a quick look at those players with 100 or more NHL games who were drafted just before Lidstrom. Rob Zaminer, 45th overall to the Rangers. Scott Pellerin, 47th to the Devils. Louis DeBrusk, 49th to the Rangers. And finally, 1 pick before Nick Lidstrom, Blair Atchinham, drafted 52nd overall to Hartford. And there you have it. Those are the 52 players drafted before Nick Lidstrom and how their careers panned out. So, how would you redraft the 1989 first round? Does Lidstrom crack the top 5 or even go first overall? Let us know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more videos.